from the beautiful PowerTech Studios here in downtown Madison, West Virginia, except no substitutes because this is YouTube's least watched show ever, and not that anybody really gave a damn we're on here, but here we are anyway, and we're also on my Facebook page as well, so this is the first one I've sent out mass audience, whatever that might be. But here it is anyway, and this is the BYB Insider, and I'm your host, the big guy. So it's week 4, kiddies. Who's won and who's eating those W's, Jameis, and who's eating the ugly bitterness of defeat? We're going to find that out right about now as we crank up the music. And you know what that means, kiddies. It's time. It's time to go over. And let's start up with the matchups. And we've got the 6 kiddies and the Shock Masters as we dive inside the box scores. Let's start it off on the 6 kitty side. We got Kyler Murray starting off things, and boy, howdy, look at there, 25 points. Alvin Kamara with 16, but David Montgomery kind of leaving it short with only 10 points. You got Keenan Allen also, no, not looking good there as we scroll on down. Robert Woods there with 9 points. Waller 7. These are some mediocre scores to say the least, and it kind of left it hanging out there for Larry Dameron. Could the undefeated defending champions come back? Well, let's take a look at the Shockmaster side of things. Patrick Mahomes, Damian Williams, and Melvin Gordon making his return, and not much happened to kids. The old man by the river, Larry Fitzgerald, cranks down 11. Alshon Jeffrey with 11. Kelsey, though, kind of leaving it hanging for him with a 12, but here's the one I wanted to highlight. That's Devin Bush. He's my hero. 11.5 points for Devin. But as we go down, you can see Khalil Mack didn't show, Von Bell didn't go, and Harrison Butker also didn't come up with enough, and it leads to the first defeat of the season for the Shockmasters. 96.5 to 95. We're moving on. It's going to be, we're going to take it over to the Let Me Kick boys. And the Get Off My Dick, Beaver Casey, or is it? We're not doing that this week. We're not doing that this week. Let's dive inside the box scores, kiddies, as we crank in here with the Let Me Kick boys. You know, last week was a brutal week for Charlie as he set the BYB record in lowest points scored in history. Could he at least roll up a little bit? Well, Dak did his part, 23 points, but Royce Freeman and Jalen Samuels. No.
The House of Pain.
Odell with only 2, and boy, this looks like a bad distant replay. Sammy Watkins scratched before the game. Didn't help out matters. Jimmy Graham, boy, this has got to be a distant nightmare for Charlie Brown here. And you go on down, and it's just not looking any better. Poor old Charlie Brown. But let's take it to the other side and see if the Ditka boys Can the Ditka boys do any better? Jared Goff coming through with a beautiful 18-point score. Ezekiel Elliott with 17. James White with 12, but Mike Evans, oh boy. Not much going on there for him. But Adam Thielen, welcome back from the cold. And you should have brought Greg Olsen with you because he scored absolutely nothing.
Sell.
Luke Kuechly, though, come up with 9, and JJ and the rest of the team come through, and it leads to Charlie Brown not setting records, but still not putting W's. He loses this one 111 to 63.5. We're moving on, and it's going to be the A team and the Revolution. Let's take it over to the Revolution side, shall we? And as we dive inside the box scores, it's Lamar Jackson and 10 points. Not much there happening, but say hello to Aaron Jones. 48 points. Tyler Lockett cranking down 15 more. The rest of the team kind of mediocre in there. Could the A team have an answer? And in a word, you betcha. Cause it's Christian McCaffrey. 47 points. Chris Godwin with 31. Tyler Boyd with 28.
Bye.
That's a triple bye, folks. Disley cranking in with 12 more. Jalen Smith, the defense comes cranking through. And when you're getting scores like that, folks, it's going to be hard to win any week. 179.5 to 130. The A team puts it on the board. And we're moving on. Let's take it over here. We're going to take it to the foreplay and the guild. And as we start out here, let's slide over to the guild side, shall we? Hang on one second. There we go. And as we dive inside the box scores here, it didn't look promising for the guild here. Or for Jacob here. We're on the foreplay side. Let's take it over here to the guild side. Say hello to Deshaun Watson. 51 points. You got Amari with 39 more. But the rest of the team kind of left it hanging. 2 big scores there. Could Jacob and the foreplay boys come up with any kind of answer? And in a word, no. Not even close. Phillip Rivers. Moon Rivers. Took a bath on this one. Only 2 points. Le'Veon Bell came down with 15, and Austin Eckler came to play with 20. Cooper Kupp, though, came with 26, but the rest of the team left it hanging. And Jacob left it short as Michael puts this one on the board. 152 to 89.5. We're going to move on as we dive in with the Turn Down for What boys and the Stone Cold Locks. And let's start this one off on the Watt side. Thomas or Beaver or who? I just don't know anymore. All right, who's who in this deal? Anyway, I digress. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. He does live. 22 points. Dalvin Cook coming through with 24, and Devontae Freeman back from the dead, 18 points. You got DeAndre Hopkins also knocking down 15, and DJ Moore, who? 15 points. Mark Andrews with 10. Fine-looking scores here for the Turn Down the Watt boys. Could Jared come up with the answer? And in a word, yes. Say hello to Jameis Winston. You know, a couple weeks ago, I just railed on Jameis, and being a Tampa Bay fan, it was hard for me. But here on the BYB Insider, the big guy can admit when he's wrong, and I admit I was wrong. Thank you, Jameis. Even though you still lost the game, you scrub. Anyway, moving on. Nick Chubb only came up with 10, but Chris Carson, look at there, 18 points, and then you got Michael Thomas. Breaking down 41 points. Calvin Ridley with 19 points. Boy, Julio's not hanging down by the schoolyard anymore. It's Calvin Ridley bringing it in, and George Kittle back to fantasy relevance with 20 points. And the defense cranked up some good scores, and it has Jared, my man Taylor, and his Stone Cold Locks on the board for his first victory of the year. 172 to 134.5 in an absolute slugfest. And now we're going to move on to the game of the week. And it's the first time for the Cardiac Kitties and Tommy Quick's 3 limp centimeters. We're going to dive into the box scores, and let's start it off on the Cardiac Kitty side. And we start with Carson Wentz. Now we can really talk about where did quarterbacks go. Only 13 points against the weak Jets defense. 17 points from Todd Gurley, man. Still not big scores as we're used to him, but he's still coming through. You got Derrick Henry only chopping down 13 points, and Julio is definitely hanging down the schoolyard, but he's not hanging around with much. Only 7 points there. Jarvis Landry comes up with 11. Ertz with 16. The rest of the guys cranking down some mediocre scores. Could Tommy Quick come up with an answer? And in a word, yes. Tom Brady, 28 points. James Conner cranking down only 11. But Marlon Mack, what a game against KC, 17 points. Julian Edelman cranking down 25. And yes, finally, I get to call it. Because it is DJ Chark, 36 points, DJ Chark, I should have picked him up. Evan Ingram knocking down 10 more. The rest of the team, no kicker. Gostkowski is hurt. Good call there, Tommy, but it doesn't hurt him. He still comes up with the win. 143 to 113.
And now, the BYB Insider presents Should We Start to Worry? With your host, the Big Guy.
Hello, BYB Nation, and it is time for our segment of the show, Should I Worry? So, going over to our Facebook page, we've had a few questions we posted up on the board for you guys to ask, and we've got a couple already. And, of course, Larry Dameron wants to know, he's wanting to know if the big guy should worry. No, because I got the greatest football show on YouTube. Why should I worry? Oh, I see. He might be thinking about why Brian Baisden might begin to worry as he has suffered his first loss on the season. Well, should Brian begin to worry? He might start to be a little concerned, but I don't think it's full-blown panic yet. Considering Patrick Mahomes is a little banged up, but he does have this guy sitting on the bench that is the number one overall quarterback in fantasy right now in Seattle's quarterback. So I don't think Mr. Russell Wilson should have to worry. Definitely not. But his next question is about Baker Mayfield. And yes, folks, if you are in possession of Baker Mayfield on your fantasy team, dump him now.
Sell, 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 sell.
He's a train wreck, folks. Sorry to have to break it to you. Jekyll and Hyde has nothing on that guy. Get him out and pick yourself up some Jimmy G.
And now, the BYB Insider presents Should We Start to Worry? With your host, the Big Guy.
So there you have it, kiddies. Week 4 in the books. So we now have to take the one last thing in the business. Let's take it over to the screen here and let's drop into some standings. And as we take a look at the standings here, let's take a look at the NFL rankings. The Shockmasters coming in at 4-1. They lose a game to the A-Team who came through with that big win. But the Cardiac Kids and Charlie Brown still hanging around. He's on the midst of a 3-game losing streak. But Charlie will hopefully try to get it turned around next week and get back into the race. As we take it over to the AFL side and look at this war. Get off my dick, a beaver, I think. 3-2. Mick Evans is right there, a game behind at 2-3. And he's tied with turn down for what? That's Thomas or
All aboard!
okay, all right, I'm back in it. And Jared Taylor putting on the first victory of the season at 1-4. He's not completely out of this gig yet. And stranger things have happened. As we flip it around to the third division, the XFL, we got the newbies, the Revolution, riding on top, taking over first place from Jacob, and in a 3-way tie with Larry Dameron, 6 kiddies. All 3 are at 3-2, and then you got Tommy Quick, 1 game behind at 2-3. Should be an absolute slugfest to the end. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope this one turned out a little bit better than last week's. We're still trying here. We're getting everything together, and this is all live. It's happening as we speak. So, it is what it is, folks. Live TV. But that's going to do it for this episode. We are out of here. We'll see you Wednesday next week right at 8:30 right here. Same YouTube time, same Facebook channel.